Today we are making spaghetti sauce. So here's our ingredients. We got 1 pound or so of ground beef. You could also use sausage and mix it if you like. We got some tomato paste. I got about half of a can. A decent amount of garlic. Got some oregano, red pepper flakes, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. You use the sugar to kind of cut a little bit of the acidity, but don't use too much. And then we got our fresh herbs, basil and parsley. I will do 1/2 of an onion. We got our spaghetti, a couple cans of sauce, and we have some diced tomatoes. And if you got fresh tomatoes, definitely use those. That's how my grandmother would do it. So the first thing, I always like to have all my prep ready. And what we're going to do, we're just going to kind of clean up and then chop up a little bit of parsley. I pulled this off of my little garden along with the basil. I just want to remove the stems. And then I'm going to kind of bunch it up and then just rough chop it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and remove the leaves from my basil. I'm kind of trying to pick the large ones. I definitely want to use the nicest, largest ones first. I like a good amount of basil in mine. If you don't have fresh basil, definitely use the dried. I just prefer the fresh, tastes much better. And what I want to do is I want to layer these leaves the best I can. The largest at the bottom and then kind of the smaller ones at the top. Then I'm just going to roll it up and then we're going to chiffonade it. Really simple, and I definitely recommend using fresh whenever you can. Next, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my onion, and since I cook my sauce for a decent amount of time, I don't really worry about the onion being super fine diced. So first, I'm going to cook my meat. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, and then we're going to add the meat to the pan, whether it's going to be ground beef or a mixture of ground beef and Italian sausage, whatever you prefer. I don't have any sausage, so I'm just going to do straight beef today. You just want to kind of chop it up as it's cooking. We just want to get it all browned up. Once our meat's all browned, I'm going to go ahead and take it off the stove, and I am going to let it drain. With the same pan, I'm going to cook the onions. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil. Go ahead and put the onions in, and then I want to kind of saute these down, not quite caramelized, but sauteed down a little bit. This is about what I'm looking for with my onions. They're not quite to the caramelization stage, but they are nice and sauteed. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the garlic in, and then I'm going to go ahead and saute this up for a couple more minutes. After a couple minutes, we're going to go ahead and add the beef back in, and go ahead and give this a good stir. Next, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in my seasonings. Get that nice and mixed up. Gives it a chance for that oregano to kind of release the fragrance and the flavors a little bit. I'm also going to add some salt and pepper. And I don't add too much at first. It's always easier to add more than it is to remove. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add in my diced tomatoes. Go ahead and let that cook for a little bit. Then I'm going to add in my tomato paste. This is about 3 ounces of tomato paste. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add the tomato sauce in. I'm going to go ahead and add part of the herbs. I'm going to add some of the basil and some of the parsley. I'm going to keep a little bit of it for garnishing at the end. Once I have everything all stirred up, I'm going to turn it down to a low simmer. I'm going to put a lid on it, and then I'm going to let this simmer for a couple hours. My grandmother used to do it for like 5 or 6 hours. After a couple hours, we're going to come back and we're going to take a look at our sauce. I did stir it every 15 to 20 minutes while it was simmering during a couple hours. Has really good smell. My whole house smells Italian now. I've come to really like this pan. It works great for so much more than just sauteing. I love that it's a lot deeper, and it definitely works better than some of my other pans. Next, we want to cook our pasta, and I add the salt as soon as the water starts coming up to a boil. Now with my pasta, I like to break it in half. We're gonna go ahead and cook this until it's done. Once your pasta is done, go ahead and get it drained. I do not rinse my pasta at all. Now we're ready to go ahead and start plating up. Add some of your sauce right on top. Some people do like to mix it. I just put it on top. And making your own sauce like this definitely tastes a lot better than the jar. I do not eat jar sauces. We're going to add a little bit of cheese. And I'm going to add some of that fresh basil right on top. And now we are ready to eat. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. Subscribe, like, comment below.